ज्ञानस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाख्या चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनस्तं स्थाप्तमेनं तुले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं गुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं सादैतं साधुतं पर्जनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादं सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावतां श्री कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा we come to this discussion on Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are in right now in chapter number 5, and we are discussing the title name or title of this chapter is Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So we are right now in the first part of this chapter. There are totally 5 parts, and we are in the first part, which is which is mainly focusing on Karma Yoga is equal to Jnana Yoga, and it is also easier than Jnana. That is where we are in. We are discussing shloka number 5. So, shloka number 5, let us go to the shloka. This is further dissecting the entire chapter. Let us go to the shloka and take it forward. So, yat shanke prapyate sthanam tad yoga apigamyate ekam shankyam cha yogam cha iha pashyati to sah pashyati. So, one who knows that this the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as it is. So we were looking at Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. So analytical study is like Jnana Yoga, and devotional service is like working for Krishna, which is devotional service, which is Karma Yoga. In this case, we are still not gone into the Bhakti Yoga, but we are focusing on surrendering our fruits of our work, fruits of the work of Krishna. That is where we are right now discussing. And we see that this Yaha Pashyati Sa Pashyati, who sees things as they are. Yaha Pashyati Sa Pashyati. So this line is getting repeated in shloka number 13.28. Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tis- Tistantam Parameshwaram Vinasyatseva Avinashyantam Yaha Pashyati Sa Pashyati. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies and who understand neither the soul nor the super soul and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructive body is ever destroyed actually sees. And this concept of seeing is discussed by Krishna in shloka number 6.30. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mahi pashyati tashyam na pranashyami sacha na pranashyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor he is ever lost to me. So these are the shlokas which are connected to seeing. There is one more shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Dehapatye kalakradishu atma sainesha satvapi tesham pramato nidanam pashyan apina pashyati. So persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the valuable sources like body, children, and wife, although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see the inevitable destructions. So these verses indicate something deep. So that is, Yaha Pashyati, Sa Pashyati. One who sees this is the true seer. So here Seeing is seeing with knowledge. This is explained using an example of layman seeing a X-ray. So the generally X-ray is a method to diagnose the inner part of the body through special electromagnetic rays or the light waves, special light waves. And therefore, unless a person knows the way the light wave is used and where it is used, it is not possible to understand or interpret the results of a X-ray scanning. So a layman seeing an X-ray and a doctor seeing an X-ray is completely different. Doctor will see it with the eyes of knowledge and diagnose any illness, and he will prescribe a treatment to the patient. Layman cannot make anything out of it. This is seeing with the eyes of knowledge. Layman seeing is like Pashyan apina Pashyan. He doesn't see. He sees, but he does not see sufficient. Still do not see the inevitable. They do not see. And that means what? They cannot see deeper. When a doctor sees, he sees deeper, which is Yaha Pashyati Sa Pashyati. We fundamentally see with eyes of knowledge. This knowledge is pre-existing understanding we have on the subject. The point is that we can know based on what we already understand or know about the subject. Our ability to understand anything we know depends on how easily we are able to connect with what we already know. So this helps us to integrate what we are seeing with the conceptual framework we already know about the subject. Thus, our understanding on the subject grows deeper when we try a new when we come across new observations. Okay, so there is one more perspective to this. Many people can quote verses from Bhagavad Gita. So they have memorized the quotes or verses. This quoting of verses alone does not mean deeper understanding of Bhagavad Gita. This only indicate some official piety and an inclination to memorizing the verses. To understand the flow and the integrity of Bhagavad Gita, we need to study it systematically. This systematic process helps us to see things in the right perspective, to see things properly. When we see things properly in the right perspective, then our seeing is actually seen. So that is Yaha Pashyati Sa Pashyati. A person engaged in karma yoga will appear externally to be engaged in material world. A person engaged in jnana yoga will appear to be sitting in one place and meditating and will appear great. So we will think that the person who is practicing jnana yoga to be more serious than the person who is practicing karma yoga. But according to this Bhagavad Gita shloka 5.5, both of them are equally serious and the results that they obtain are same. When we see the commonality of the destination beyond the diversity of the process they follow, then we understand that they are comparable. Then we become the seers of the truth. Then we see things in the right perspective. That is Yaha Pashyati Saha Pashyati. So Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport, in this entire purport, he explains the purpose of life. So if you see the real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. So, since the ultimate goal of life is self realization, there is no difference between the conclusions reached by two process, that is Sankhya philosophy as well as by devotional service. Sankhya philosophy here it means the Jnana Yoga part of it, and the other one is Karma Yoga part of it. So persons, so there is one interesting shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Ate vidu swartagati vi Vishnu durashaya e bahir arthamaninaha anda yanta andair upaniyamana te apisya tantrayam urudami baddha. Persons who are strongly entrapped by conscious of enjoying material life and who are therefore accepted as their leader or a guru, a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in service of Lord. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into the ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached men are bound by ropes of fruitive labor, which are made up of strong cords, and they continue again and again in the materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. The point is that people don't know the ultimate goal of life is serving Vishnu. We need to know Lord Vishnu, love Lord Vishnu, and serve Lord Vishnu. These are the words of Prahlad Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada establishes that Krishna as Supreme Personality of God, the original um, manifestation of absolute truth. And the Srimad Bhagavatam also establishes Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God and original manifestation of absolute truth. So after that, Srimad Bhagavatam uses the name Krishna and Vishnu interchangeably and identically. So if you refer to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33.39, they give, so this is actually the this chapter is Rasa Dance. The title of this is Rasa Dance. So here, Vikriditam Brajavadubir Idam Cha Vishnu. The sporting with young women of Vrindavana Idam Cha and Vishnu by Lord Vishnu. So here we see that uh, Srimad Bhagavatam is interchanging the names of Krishna and Vishnu or uses it interchangeably or we can say identically. So this reference in the of Vishnu in the Rasa dance indicates that um, that Vishnu and Krishna are used identically or interchangeably. श्रद्धान्वितो अनुश्रूयात् अत वर्णयेद्या भक्तिं परम भगवती प्रतिलभ्य कामं हृद्रोगम आसौ अपि हिनोति अचिरेण धीरः. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs. So Prabhupada is not giving any, is not using Vishnu or Krishna, but is saying Lord's playful affairs with young gopis of Vrindavan will attain Lord's pure devotional service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. So, Srimad Bhagavatam makes this philosophical point very clear in another shloka, which is Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swam Indrari Vyakulam Logam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge, which means Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So all above incarnations mentioned, either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the Lord, are nothing but Sri Krishna and he is the original personality of God. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheist. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. So after establishing the point that Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, then Krishna and Vishnu are used interchangeably and identically. So Srila Prabhupada is now explaining how these two are similar. Of which two? Analytical study and devotional service are similar. So one can come to the conclusion of watering the roots of tree to nourish the tree to nourish, or study the tree by research and then understand that that is where we root is the where we have to water and hence nourish the plant. So one can go to farmer and learn from him how to nourish the tree and by watering the roots. Or um, one can come to a conclusion of watering the roots by research. So whichever way follow, the objective is nourishment of the tree. Either the process either of the process, that is approaching the farmer or research, both does the same thing. In the same way, both analytical study and devotional service leads to spiritual realization. The easiest way is to go ask farmer and then follow the instruction. The same in the same, follow the instructions of Krishna, our spiritual master, and engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So in this specific case, Arjuna has to fight. That is the karma yoga. He has to act and surrender the fruits of results, winning the battle and surrender the winning to Krishna to establish the rule of Dharma in the world. This listening to instruction of Krishna is easiest and time saving. So by digging and digging, we will come to find the root. The risk is that we may probably damage the root. The same way, philosophical analysis, we will find the soul inside the body. We will understand that we are not this body but soul. We will then engage in the activities of the soul, which is to act with detachment. In this process, we should not get deviated and hence risk our spiritual realization. So we may damage our we may cause no, get into impersonal realization, or we will get attracted by the karma kanda principles, or we will get stuck in jnana yoga, and hence there is a possibility that we will get deviated and hence will not surrender to Krishna. Therefore, it is much better to go to a spiritual master and understand from him. Like Arjuna surrendered to Krishna in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, like that we can go understand how to engage in service of Supreme Personality of Godhead by surrendering to a spiritual master. That is much easier part. When we engage in devotional service, we act at the level of soul and hence get connected with the super soul. So Krishna is the super soul, he is the origin of the soul. So if we see shloka number 7.10, let's go to shloka number 7.10. Bijamon sarvabhutana viddhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmin tejas tejasvi nam. So what does it mean? O son of Pratha, Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful man. So what is main difference between karma yoga and jnana yoga? The difference is in understanding of the absolute truth. A karma yogi will not know the absolute truth, but knows that there is the absolute truth and that he is not the body but soul. Therefore, he acts in the mood of sacrifice and does not pander to the need of the body. The bhakti yogi, in addition, understand that he is part and parcel of the supreme personality of God at Krishna, and we have to act in the mood of divine service. This sacrifice is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. This will help in liberation. So this is the main difference between Bhakti Yogi and the Karma Yogi. So if we see the entire purport, by Shakya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion the living entity is not part and parcel of the material world, but the spirit, the supreme spirit whole. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with Material world, his access must be in relation with the Supreme. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. In first Shankya, one has to become detached from matter, and then devotional service further one has to attach himself to work of Krishna consciousness. Actually, both processes are same, although superficially one process appears to involve detachment, other process appears to involve attachment. Detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One can see this, sees things as they are. So this is the most important detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. So this is important point. So Srila Prabhupada is concluding this in detachment from matter, which is Jnana Yoga, is same as attachment to Krishna, which is Bhakti Yoga. So and and this is same as to spirit in general, which is Karma Yoga. The Karma Yogi does not know the absolute truth yet, but but he is but he and no, but knows that there is a absolute truth, and he is not the body but the soul. So further deeper realization results in Bhakti Yoga. So let us go to the next shloka. संन्यास यस्तु महाबाहो दुःखम आप्तुम अयोगतः योगयुक्त मुनिर्ब्रह्म न चिरेणादि गच्छति. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve supreme without delay. So renouncing of activities is a troublesome as it is unnatural. Renouncing all activities yet cannot make one happy. Why? Because it is a troublesome, it is unnatural, unsustainable, difficult, hence it is troublesome. So ayogataha. Ayogata means it is not without devotional service, which is without doing any activity. Then it gives, when we do not do any activity, it gives more pain or it is troublesome because inactivity is fundamentally not natural to us. Yoga yukto munir. Yoga yukto munir means a person who is acting is yoga yukto munir. Brahma na chirenadhigachati. Brahma na chirenadhigachati. We have to read this as one single line. Such a person will attain the supreme very shortly. It doesn't take much time. There is no delay in attaining the supreme when we are acting in devotional service. Krishna is here reiterating the fact that just detachment from matter is not sufficient. We need to connect to the Supreme. This is owing to the reason that any activity in the material world connected to matter leads to bondage. Thus, if we try to abstain from doing any action, then our existence becomes difficult as inaction is unnatural for us and we will definitely end up in doing action. Further, the point is that just a detachment from matter doesn't give any happiness. Therefore, both detachment from matter and renouncing action are not sustainable for a longer duration. Hence, it doesn't give us any happiness. This situation is like a person trying to come out of matter but doesn't enter into spirituality and ends lost. Thus, Krishna is offering a solution of Yoga Yuga. This will help in attaining Brahma or the Supreme. So, two important points. One is inactivity is natural, and detachment from material is also very difficult. So, we are in a difficult condition. So, to overcome inactivity, we do activity, but we do activity in attachment to Krishna. So whatever we do it for Krishna or we surrender the fruits of that work to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport is talking about commentaries of Mayavadis. Actually, Mayavadis are jnanis. There are two classes of sannyasis or persons in renewed or life. The Mayavadi sannyasis are engaged in study of Shakya philosophy, whereas Vaishnava sannyasis are engaged in study of Bhagavatam philosophy, which offers proper commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So, the Mayavadi sannyasis also study Vedanta Sutras, but use their own commentary called Sharirika Bhashya, written by Shankaracharya. The students of Bhagavad school are engaged in devotional service all day long, but according to Pancharatriki regulation, and therefore Vaishnava sannyasis have multiple engagement in transcendental service of the Lord. The Vaishnava sannyasis have nothing to do with material activities, and yet they perform various activities in the devotional service to the Lord. But Mayavadi sannyasis engage in studies of Sankhya and Vedanta, and speculation cannot release the transcendental service of the Lord. Because their studies become very tedious, they sometimes become tired of Brahman speculation. Thus, they take shelter of Bhagavatam without proper understanding. So, this is an interesting point. Srimad Bhagavatam concludes in personalism, and it is a theistic book which ends in personalism. If you look at Vedas and Vedic history, Sri Shankara and Sri Ramanuja did not comment on Srimad Bhagavatam. So, role of Ramanuja was to refute Shankara to a large extent. Since Shankara did not comment on Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramanujacharya did not comment on it. However, Ramanuja quoted and explained concepts of bhakti which are similar to the concepts of as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Madhvacharya, he commented on Srimad Bhagavatam. His commentary is called as Bhagavata Tatparya Nirnaya. If we see in our context, Shankara came in 7th century, Ramanuja came in 10th and 11th century. Madhvacharya came in 11th and 12th century. This is like the medieval period. Around 16th century, Bhakti Renaissance started. The Mayavada philosophy started to fade during this time. The concept that I am Brahman appeared to be too egoistic. Without renouncing material things, there is no way to become spiritual. And then came the concept of illusion. This ended up with the point that everyone has to take sannyasa. Thus, Mayavada appeared to be demanding path, and there is no surety of success in the path of Mayavada. Thus, Mayavadis neither could sustain themselves in the path of Mayavada philosophy, nor they could hold others in the path. So, within impersonalism, the bhakti grew, and they also started reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, teaching Srimad Bhagavatam as bhakti started growing. The Mayavadis also thus adapted bhakti. However, they could not enter into the details of Srimad Bhagavatam. They almost get embarrassed by the pastimes of Krishna with gopis. They cannot explain why absolute truth is acting in an immoral way. Thus, their metaphorical or symbolic explanation doesn't fit with the pastimes of Krishna with gopis. Thus, they cannot relate Srimad Bhagavatam as the underlying conceptions are all wrong. The purpose of studying Srimad Bhagavatam is not to understand Bhagavan, but to transcend the concept of Bhagavan. They cannot be satisfied. Mayavadis cannot be satisfied. Therefore, there is a trend of teaching bhakti among impersonalists also, because without bhakti, it is not possible to sustain in Mayavada. So, what happened is that there are some bhaktas who get misguided by this and they become attracted to Mayavada. So, we will see that bhakti is also taught in Mayavada schools, and some people who like bhakti, they get themselves enrolled to Mayavada way of Mayavada philosophy or Bhakti in Mayavada philosophy. Um, these organizations, they are very big. They are very big Mayavada organizations, and they are also best known Mayavada organizations. So these people who are attracted to Bhakti, unfortunately, join this huge Mayavada organization to practice Bhakti. Therefore, there may be an organization which is Mayavada by affiliations, but bhakti by inclination. So one such philosopher or one such acharya is Srila Sridhara Swami. His commentary is regarded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of the important commentary revealing the deepest understandings of Vaishnava, from the deepest understanding of Vaishnava perspective of Srimad Bhagavatam. He has written, Srila Swami has written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So his commentary is regarded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of the commentaries revealing the deepest understanding of Vaishnavism. Though there are some traces of Mayavada in his commentary, Sridhar Swami was regarded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the prominent commentator, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also insisted that who rejects the commentary of Sridhar Swami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarded him as a prostitute. And we see that Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura quoted Sridhara Swami's commentary repeatedly in their commentaries. So in Sridhara Swami's commentary, everything was contextual. It does not tell anything consistently. There is a every commentary has some consistency, but in case of Sridhara Swami, there is consistency. However, he is affiliated to a Mayavada school. Therefore, he made few statements which are Mayavada. So, when Srila Jiva Goswami used Sridhar Swami's commentary, he used it as a standard reference. So when Sridhar Swami explains the context in terms of Vaishnavism, Jiva Goswami uses it as it is and further gives an elaboration or explanation. But when there is a Mayavada explanation in Srila Sridhar Swami's commentary, Jiva Goswami skips the Sridhar Swami's commentary and gives his own understanding about the particular verse or about the point about the point in the verse with scriptural references. Jiva Goswami is maintaining the Vaishnava etiquette which Vallabha Bhatt was not able to maintain, which was to obey to the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised Vallabha Bhatt for not keeping the status of Sridhara Swami. So Vallabha Bhatt was not very much convinced with the commentary of Sridhara Swami on Srimad Bhagavatam. The point that we want to make here is that there are people who will have affiliation to Mayavada, but they are Vaishnavas internally, just like Sridhara Swami. Uh, so they need not have to be Mayavadi by association. So internally, so if they are Vaishnava with Mayavada affiliation, it doesn't mean they have Mayavada association. So that is what Prabhupada is trying to bring out in this purport. Now let us go to the next shloka and let me share my screen. Shloka number 7. Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan Apina Lipyate. So what does this mean? one who works in devotion, who is pure soul, who controls his mind and senses, is very dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So, who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. So, in Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto, there is a pastime of Maharaj Uttanapada. He is a descendant of Swayambhu Manu. He and his descendants keep ruling the earth. At the end of the ruling of descendants of Uttanapada, Mahavaja, Maharaj Priyavrata takes up the responsibility of ruling the world. And we see how Priyavrata is controlling his minds and senses. Okay. Uh, Maharaj Priyavrata, so after the rule of Maharaj Uttanapada ended, the earth was left without any king. So lawlessness was rising without a proper ruler. So there was a declining in Dharma. When there is no king, there is a Dharma would decline, society would crumble, spiritual welfare of all beings would be at risk. Therefore, a ruler is needed, not just a man, but a righteous Kshatriya empowered to protect people and uphold the law of Krishna, Supreme Personality of God's law. So Swayambhu Manu, who is son of Brahma and one of the 12 Mahajanas, he recognized an urgent need of a powerful Kshatriya. So he approached his elder son Maharaj Priyavrata. Priyavrata actually renounced the world. He was absorbed in self-realization under the guidance of Narada Muni, who is another Mahajana, living a peaceful life in the no, who is leading a peaceful life of Krishna consciousness, traveling from one planet to the other. So when Manu requested Maharaj Priyavrata to take up royal duties, Priyavrata became silent. He feared that ruling the kingdom would distract him from his spiritual path. He had already turned away from worldly responsibility, so taking up the throne seemed like a step backward or a reverse step. He wants to progress in his life by renouncing more and more and ultimately going, taking up sannyasa and then go back home, back to God once he ends his life. So, as far as he is concerned, going back to material possessions is like a going back to take back the throne is like step backward in his progressive journey, bhakti journey. So at this point, Narada Muni, who was guiding Priyavrata, he also protested. So though he advised Priyavrata to pursue his path of renunciation. However, seeing the situation, so now we have Narada Muni and Manu, who are both Mahajanas. They are, one of them is recommending to take up Kshatriya duty, to take up the responsibility of throne, and another one, another Mahajana is asking him to renounce the world. At this point, to resolve the tension, Lord Brahma, who is spiritual master of both Manu and Narada, personally descended to address Priyavata. So Brahma clarified the confusion. He said that everything in this material world happens under the direction of Supreme Personality of God. So he's telling no one is truly independent. Even if someone chooses renunciation, it does not mean they are free from action or influence. Brahma gave the example of sun. to Maharaj Priyada, which moves across the sky performing its duty. Yet now it remains untouched. So a ruler too can govern the world without being bound if he performs his duties with devotion and detachment. Brahma then spoke a deeper truth. He said that going to forest is not real renunciation. If mind is still attached, so what is that we need to take care? We need to take care of mind. Mind is still attached to material things. Even in isolation, one is always accompanied by six companions. And what are they? Mind and five senses. So these are called as six companions or six wives. So mind along with eyes, which is attraction for forms, ears, which has attraction for sound, nose, which has attraction for smell, tongue, which has craving for taste, skin, which has hankering for touch, uh, and mind, which is the root of all desires. If they accompany a person, then it is very difficult. So one cannot, one very difficult to renounce. So even in isolation, these six wives travel with us. So wherever one goes, these six companions remain with us, or in this case, will remain with Maharaj Priyavata. So Brahma then warns Priyavata against any hypocrisy. So where one may dress as a renunciate, but internally he remains entangled in the sense object. Such renunciation is superficial. So it is better that uh, one does his duty in the spirit of devotion without personal attachment. So he will advance more, or he is much advanced than a person who is falsely renouncing. So Brahma recommends Maharaj Priyavrata to take up the duty of ruling the kingdom with the spirit of devotion without personal attachment, so that he can advance in the path of devotion service. So we will discuss this further in our next class, in our next week's discussion. It will be very much interesting how Swayambhu Manu became the ruler and how he ruled, and what we can learn in relation with this shloka 5.7 of Bhagavad Gita from the life history of Maharaj Priyata. We can discuss this in our next class. Thank you very much. Macha kalpatarvyascha kripa sindhu vayocha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज भगवत गीता की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। बोल प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्णा।